The following is a presentation of CUTV Sports and CUTV Sports 1.
Hello, and welcome to the Gary Dunn Show for September 5th, 2017. I'm your host, Gary Smith. And on today's show, we're going to talk to Coach Dunn about Thursday night's exciting victory against Ohio Dominican under the lights at Adamson Stadium. And then we're going to take a look at those highlights. And then after the commercial break, take a look at the Cheney highlights from last year and talk about this week's opponent, the Cheney Wolves, look at the scores from around the PSAC, early standings, and all that fun stuff that pertains to finally talking about actual football games and not what's going to happen. Coach, welcome. It's had a couple days after a Thursday night game. Look well rested.
Great to be back. Yeah, it was fun playing on Thursday night. Got a great student crowd out there, and then we're able to give our guys a couple days off before we hit the grind of 10 straight weeks. So great to be back.
Well, I mentioned you, Coach, when you came in. It's kind of weird that it's the last Saturday, probably until hopefully middle of December, that there's no football for you. So did you do anything to relax or just more football?
Yeah, just hung out with the family. Did sneak and watch a little bit of college football, which was nice. I usually don't get to see too much, and went to dinner with some family. So it was a good Saturday off, especially after a big win on Thursday night.
That's a beautiful way to spend an off day. And we'll get to Thursday night right now, Coach. And we'll kind of start with the end because a lot of drama in that game, but it all came down to the final 34 seconds. A senior kicker for California making a kick to win the game, and then Ohio Dominican's freshman kicker in his first kick in college missing. But just a heck of a college football game on Thursday night. Yeah,
really excited it ended the way that it did. But great night at Adamson Stadium. Couldn't thank the folks that came out enough. Huge crowd on hand. And our guys played well. Our guys battled and competed. We knew it was going to be a four-quarter game when we signed the contract to play Ohio Dominican. They've got a great coaching staff and a nice club. And, just proud of the way our guys battled all night long.
And it was if you didn't see the game, it's on YouTube. And make sure you check out the full game or the highlights because it seems like anytime the lights go on at Adamson Stadium, it's going to be either an instant classic or something that comes down to pretty much the last play of the last two games under the lights.
Yeah, it did. We sent Will out there to knock a big field goal down for us, and we have ultimate faith and confidence in him. And then we actually blocked the last one of theirs. Vince Alameni got a hand on it, and what a big play. And that's what we preach to our guys, that we play every play. You never know what play is going to win or lose a game for you. And there was a lot of big plays and a lot of momentum shifts in that game. And just proud of the effort. Our guys battled all night. The effort was there. We've got some things to correct, but it was a great start to the season.
And it looked like from the beginning of the game, your offense did not miss a beat marching up and down. A lot of control in that offense and a lot of weapons it showed on Thursday night.
Yeah, I thought the offense played well. We scored on our first two possessions. Kind of got backed up on the first possession from the 10-yard line and went 90 yards and punched one in. Had a big fourth down conversion on that series. Scored on the second one. But they've got a good defense and a good coaching staff, so we knew it wasn't going to be easy. And it wasn't all night long, but just the way our kids competed and executed really all the way down to the end was something that we can kind of hang our hat on.
And I thought your team did a great job. Had a lead after the safety, and then Ohio Dominican, to their credit, they came back and took a couple scores in to take the lead, but there was no panic on the sideline and nothing. You knew, as a fan, you felt that once that offense went out, that they were going to either march down and either get in position for a field goal or punch it in.
Yeah, our guys believe. They have confidence. And anytime you've got a senior quarterback like Mike Keir and just the calm and the poise he brings in the huddle, I think our guys knew we were going to put a drive together there. Would like to put one in for a touchdown and went for two to go up 8. But, we were taking what the defense gave us, and it was good. It was a good situation for our guys to be in. That's something we practiced in preseason camp. Hey, put 4 minutes on the clock. We're down a score. Let's go find a way to get in the end zone or get some points on the board, and they executed that.
And the defense, once again, putting points on the board. We talked about it a little bit last week. They had a safety in the third quarter. And I thought, the defense did a great job all night trying to get to the quarterback.
Yeah, I tell you what, they have a heck of an offense. And the thing that was hard on our defensive coaches and defensive players is they had a new offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. So we were kind of going into that game blind, not exactly sure what they were going to run offensively, and they did a great job. But just proud of our guys that they kept their composure. They made some huge plays and some huge stops. The safety was one of them where, we do a great job on special teams, pinning them down in there, and to come away what we consider a turnover and defensive points was a big part of that game. And that's what we talk to our kids about. We play every play as hard as we can, and you never know in the course of a game which one's going to make the difference. And that safety, we end up winning by 2 points, and the defense scored those 2, which was a big play.
And the front seven did a great job all night. I know one of the big storylines coming into the game, at least on the Dominican side, was they had their all-time leading rusher coming back after being hurt for a year or 2. And really, he wasn't a factor in that game. Good job to close those running lanes down.
Yeah, really proud of the way we stopped the run. I thought that's probably what we did the best defensively. We had some alignment issues early, and partly because of what Ohio Dominican was doing in the formations and motions they were giving us. I think that's something that I know our defensive staff is working this week to correct. We felt like we had too many mental assignments and alignment errors. But the way those kids battled and stopped the run, and that's what we're built on. We're going to stop the run and make teams throw the ball to beat us. But they had a heck of a quarterback that made some impressive throws all night, senior kid that did a really nice job. But at the end of the game, when we needed to get a stop, our defense did that, and then obviously forced a 50-yard field goal that we were able to block. So, great night all around. And
another thing that we didn't even realize until after the game, obviously we knew there were no turnovers, but no penalties on your team. Not to jinx it, but early season game, you figure there might be 1 or 2, just procedure penalties or maybe a false start, but, great job all around not having the yellow flag on the field.
Yeah, I don't know if we've ever had that before here. One of our alumni up in New York is always talking to me about the penalties, so I'm going to give him a call today and remind him we didn't have any. But I just think our kids were locked in mentally. Usually penalties are mental mistakes or mental bust. Maybe you're not in the right place, so you hold, or you jump off sides, you get a legal procedure. Our kids were locked in mentally from the opening kick all the way down to that last block.
And let's take a look back at Saturday. Here we go. Early season coaches show. Thursday night's game. Feels weird saying that, but it was a great atmosphere and a great afternoon and early evening at Addison Stadium. And after the commercial break, you'll see highlights from last year's game at Cheney, and then we'll talk with Coach about this upcoming opponent, the Cheney Wolves. You're watching the Gary Dunn Show right here on CUTV.
As Michael Keir, play action again, looking to go deep this time, and he's got a receiver open, and he's going to be taken down at the 5-yard line. He hands it off to Jalen Bell. Bell finds a hole and gets into the end zone for a touchdown for California, the first touchdown of the 2017 season. Russell looking to pass over the middle, and the referee gets hit, and that's going to be a touchdown. Looking to pass again. Pressure coming. He's got some green space, and he throws it off in the middle of the field to Tom Green. Green cutting it to the outside. Now he's got a lane, and it looks like Tom Green, if he can continue his speed, has a great block from the back there. He gets tackled down at the 2-yard line. It is Stallings. Gonna be a play action. Luke Smory is open, but not as open as Dylan Stallings. Takes a snap, looking to air it out. Going to the end zone to Dandridge. He makes some space and catches it for a touchdown. Blitz coming for California as Ohio Dominican's Russell throws a tip drill there, and this is going to be a touchdown here for Ohio Dominican. What a play. Wilkerson's kick is up, and it is good. California extends their lead to 10 as he hands it off once again up the middle, and this one is going to be possibly a safety. California celebrating like it is. We'll see the official score. It is a safety for California. The defense scores points. Once again looking to pass. Going deep down the field to Smory. Smory cutting it in, and this is going to be complete to Luke Smory, and he had a defender all over him. Keir hands it off to Grissom, and Grissom dives into the end zone for the California touchdown. Sending Washington in motion, keeping it himself. Plenty of space, and he dives into the end zone for an Ohio Dominican touchdown. Russell handing it off. And he dances to the outside and gets into the end zone. That's E.J. Colson. Contini on a jet sweep, looking to pass, has a man open, and this is complete there to Washington, and nobody's going to catch him. It's a touchdown here for Ohio Dominican. The snap is away, the kick is away, it is up, and it is good. The snap is away, the kick is away, it is low, and it is no good. It is wide left. The California Vulcans have defeated the Ohio Dominican Panthers in stunning fashion.
Vulcan football is back. August 31st versus Ohio Dominican. September 9th versus Cheney. September 16th at Millersville. September 23rd versus Seton Hill. September 30th at Slippery Rock. October 14th versus Clarion. October 21st at Gannon. October 28th versus Mercyhurst. November 4th at Edinburgh. November 11th at East Stroudsburg. Catch all the action live with your home of the Vulcans. CUTV Sports 1 on YouTube and radio on 91.9 FM WCAL.
Dylan, what's wrong, man? I just don't know how my family back home in Buchanan, West Virginia can watch our stuff up here.
They can follow us on Twitter or they can like us on Facebook.
That's awesome. What about our sports? How can they watch that?
They could watch it live right on our YouTube channel.
Awesome, man. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Live Vulcan football all season long on CUTV Sports 1, your home for California Vulcans football.
Looking to pass now, sees a target right in Gary Brown. Catch, big play there, stiff arms, one, and he still has some room, and he's breaking this for a touchdown. Just a great blocking there, and Gary Brown gets into the end zone early for this Vulcans team. And a low snap, but Michael Keir handles it. Throws it deep. Looks like it's going to be to Gary Brown, I believe. And it was. Now we're going to see here they have two wide receivers to his left, and Jalen Bell pushing forward. And a fake to Nick Grissom over to McCauley, and McCauley has an open field right in front of him, getting into the end zone, and McCauley, that'd be Ryan McCauley making his play. And they're going to give it to Nick Grissom, and Nick Grissom enters the end zone untouched. And Trouts is looking to throw, and right into the arms of number 31, Luke Rapchak, and he is going to jump into the end zone, and that is a defensive touchdown there for the Vulcans. I formation set, and he's looking to pass here, throws it deep, and number 5, Daquan Earl, takes it into the end zone, and that is the second defensive touchdown here for the Vulcans in the second half. Desmond Green in motion, and Goldsman's going down the field, breaking tackles, and the ball actually comes out. And Desmond Green, it looks like, actually no, number 14, that's gonna be Jordan Dandridge. And Bailey now making a move upfield, staying inbounds, seeing some space, and getting into the touchdown, into the end zone, extending their lead.
Smith, the host, and you just saw highlights from Thursday night's game against Ohio Dominican, and then more recently you saw the highlights from last year's game against the Cheney Wolves. And Coach, that was your first win as a Vulcan head coach, and we were mentioning it seems like it was so long ago because, well, it was, but it just seems like with everything happening, it just seems like it was another universe ago.
Yeah, that does seem like it was a long time ago. Great to have the first one out there last year, but they're a totally different club, which I'm sure we'll talk about this year, and we're just excited to be at home again this week.
And we will be at home this week on a Saturday, the first Saturday afternoon at Adamson Stadium. And the opponent will be the 1-0 Cheney Wolves. Coach, they won their game over the weekend against Lincoln. So for the second year in a row, California will be facing Cheney undefeated. But as you mentioned, they're a totally different team. They put up some points against Lincoln.
Yeah, I tell you what, they had it rolling offensively early. They were, I think, scored on their first 6 possessions, took I believe a 56-0 lead at halftime into the locker room, and then played some of their backups and their subs, and the final score was 56-28. But they did a heck of a job, putting points up on the board, and then their defense played really well. I know their one defensive end was the conference player of the week, had a couple sacks, caused a fumble, did some nice things. So much improved team that's going to come in here and give us everything they have.
Now on film, I know we've been breaking down film on them for the past couple of days, but on the offensive side, what kind of looks can the California defense expect to see?
Yeah, they got a returning quarterback that did a really nice job the other night, and again, it's always great for coaches to have a kid that back. He's much improved. Got a couple really nice tailbacks kind of rotated, similar to us, a number of tailbacks the other night, and then they've got some big play receivers. So I think offensively, more of a true college offense. They'll get into a lot of one-back stuff, a little bit of two-back stuff, but they put a lot on their quarterback, similar to us, to make good decisions and get the ball in their playmakers' hands.
And on the other side of the ball, of course, it's offense and defense. What kind of looks can you expect? You said they had the conference defensive player of the week.
Yeah, very similar to Ohio Dominican as far as being a 4-man front. They probably play one more high than Ohio Dominican did, a little in the middle of the field closed, and like to bring pressure in the A-gaps with their 2 inside linebackers. Got a pretty good pass rush. Their 2 defensive ends get up the field with a lot of speed, and then got some corners that are very aggressive. Corners did a nice job against Lincoln the other day, kind of jumping routes and being aggressive. So we're going to have to figure out a way to back those guys off early.
And it's got to be great, Coach, having Cheney at home this year, because I know that's a long trip. What kind of difficulties or what kind of things does a team face going that far? Because pretty much, Cheney to California is probably one of the 2 or 3 longest drives in the PSAC.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, to be honest with you. It's nice, I think, for us anyway, sometimes when we get out of here and get off campus and we're on our own. So I think their coaches will probably tell you the same thing. Luckily in our conference, the travel's not too bad. You're looking 5.5 hours and a chance to get away and stay in a hotel and just kind of be with that group and not have so many distractions. But you do get on a bus for a long ride. So, you got to make sure you're stretching and eating properly and doing all those things before you get out and play a big game.
So it's obviously nice to be at home. And it's going to be a home game this Saturday, 1 o'clock against the Cheney Wolves. And, Coach, we have a lot more to go. But first, we're going to bring in our new feature, the Twitter question. We had a couple of Twitter questions this week. And once again, if you want to ask Coach, have the opportunity to ask Coach anything, just tweet us at CUTV_PA and put in big, bold letters, it's a question, because sometimes when I'm scanning it, I don't see things. So let's take a look. I think we have a Twitter question coming up from It's Your Boy Tree. Coach, what would you consider to be the biggest thing to build on from Thursday night's game?
Wow, great question. Probably just our belief in knowing that when things get tough, we're going to have an opportunity, if we do the right things and execute, to finish games off. Probably the one thing I was disappointed, we had a 19-point lead and kind of let that slip away and didn't finish the way we want to. And we talked to our guys about that on Friday. But, we're going to build off of belief that we always have an opportunity, whether it's the offense getting the ball with 5 minutes left and having to get on and score, and then the defense having to get a stop. The other thing that we're going to build on is we played a lot of young guys. We played a lot of guys in their first college football game that are only going to get better and only going to improve. So we're excited about that.
And it's going to be an exciting 2017 season, I'm pretty sure, Coach.
Absolutely.
And let's take a look, now that we've talked about last week and we've talked about Cheney, let's take a look around the PSAC, what teams did this week, and give our fans an idea of what's going on across this great commonwealth of ours. Here's the scoreboard. Of course, we've talked ad nauseum about Cal Ohio Dominican. It's always good to see the bigger number with California. Bentley Westchester over Bentley 51-9. IUP and Ashland 26-23. And it almost seemed like it was the same script we were getting done, and people were on their phone saying, Indiana and Ashland each are coming down to a field goal. So
yeah, great game there. Indiana blocked a kick of Ashland late in the game and then went down and made one of their own. That's a big win for Indiana. Ashland's a really, really good team.
And that's a good 2 results for the conference, because that's a new, the GMAC is a new conference into the Super Region 1. So that's good to have those 2 conference wins on the board.
Sure.
And then Clarion making the trip down to Tennessee Martin, and they lose 36-0. Moving on with the scoreboards from last weekend. Some of these games were on Thursday, some of these were on Saturday. East Stroudsburg and Fairmont State. East Stroudsburg with the win on the road against a playoff team, 20-16. Stonehill going to Bloomsburg, and that's not the first time Stonehill has beat Bloomsburg at home the last couple of years, 44-28, and that was a result that probably, not so much the result itself, but just the margin of victory.
Yeah, Stonehill went down there and did a nice job, and then obviously East Stroudsburg, that's a big win for the league to beat a playoff team from a year ago, and then you've got Lock Haven struggling against St. Francis. The interesting thing, St. Francis FCS school, UT Martin FCS school, a couple schools in the PSAC stepping up and playing Division I schools, which is nice to see. And then Gannon with a big win, putting a lot of points on the board.
Yeah, that was another one that whenever I was looking at the scores, not that Gannon won, but just that they put up the 55, because Southern Connecticut State's last 10 years or so has been a pretty solid team in that league.
Absolutely.
Moving on with the scoreboards, we have a few more. Hillsdale over Mercyhurst, 19-11, former GLIAC opponents up there. Edinburgh beating Lake Erie 20-3, so that's another win, PSAC over GMAC. And then Kutztown losing to Assumption, another nail-biter, 31-28, and Kutztown coming off of a PSAC title game appearance where they met your team at Adamson Stadium.
Yeah, Assumption's a nice club. That seemed like it was a really good game. And then you got obviously the Cheney-Lincoln score, and Cheney putting up a bunch of points in week one.
It's the second year in a row Cheney has beaten Lincoln, but last year I think it was 0-0 going to overtime, so a different script entirely this year. And moving forward, final board, I think this is the final one. That's the one thing with out-of-conference games. You get a lot of scoreboards.
Exactly.
Shippensburg over an American International team, 41-7. Slippery Rock traveling to the Bluegrass State, winning 41-21. Bowie State over Seton Hill, 48-7. That's a Bowie State team that we've seen in regional rankings and national rankings for the past couple of years out of the CIAA.
Yeah, Slippery Rock did a nice job putting a lot of points on the board, and then a little bit surprised by that Bowie State Seton Hill score, because Seton Hill's a good club. They got a returning quarterback, bunch of skilled athletes coming back. Bowie State must be loaded up this year. And
Millersville losing to what I think is the best nickname in college athletics, at least D2, the Pace Setters, 28-20. Took a while when I first heard that they were the Setters to figure out what it was, so figured it out. So
maybe you can explain it to me after the show.
I will. And if that's the last board, we will take a look at the all too early PSAC East and West standings after 1 week, just to kind of get an idea of where everybody stands after 1 week. On the PSAC West, you see California, Edinburgh, Gannon, IUP, and Slippery Rock all 1-0. Clarion, Mercyhurst, Seton Hill 0-1. And of course, I know a little bit more this week because this weekend is a crossover weekend. So a lot less scoreboards and a lot more PSAC. We'll have an idea of what East and West.
And those three teams at the bottom all played really tough opponents. Hillsdale's got a nice club. Bowie State's, like you said, been in the regional rankings and national playoffs. And then Clarion stepped up and played an FCS team. So, I'm anxious to see the scores this week.
And then we see just quickly the PSAC standings after 1 week. Cheney, East Stroudsburg, Ship, and Westchester all 1-0, and the rest 0-1. And Coach, let's take a look at the upcoming week's schedule, just so our fans know what's going on in the PSAC. And as we said, all PSAC crossover games, noon, 1, 3, 4, and 6. Obviously, our fans are invested in the Cheney-Acal game at 1 o'clock. But if they had a chance to keep tabs on another game, Coach, what do you think would be a game for the fans would be interested in?
Yeah, I think that Westchester Slippery Rock's going to be a heck of a game. That's two teams that have played really well the past few years. East Stroudsburg and Indiana is another one. It's nice to have every school from the East come out West. Last year we went out there, and this year the East schools come over to the West. So it's going to be fun action. I always talk about this league and the regional rivalries, and we all recruit some of the same kids. So it's going to be a fun weekend.
Now, with the crossover weekends, we there's 2 crossover weekends. It seems like it's changed every couple of years. A few years ago, they had both. You had the non-league game, and then you had 2 crossover games. So the league changed it a few years ago. Does it make any difference if the crossover is back-to-back or staggered or bookending the conference schedule?
No, I like it the way it is. I like having the flexibility of week 1 to go out and find an opponent that's good for you and obviously good for them, and then getting into the PSAC crossover games the next 2 weeks is I think they set it up the right way.
And that'll be this Saturday at 1 o'clock. But first, there's one last graphic, Coach. You can look away. It's the national polls that came out. This is for the fans. Got to keep them abreast, because if I don't put it on there, I'll get tweeted, but you can see, well, I'm not even going to mention it. It's on the screen. There's words on the screen. There's a date for Monday. The fans can look at that. Okay, we can take it off the screen. Coach,
we don't put much stock into that. You guys know. I thought we beat it. I thought you weren't going to put that up this week, but no, I understand. But we don't concern ourselves with that. We're worried about being 2-0 at the end of the week.
And come out this Saturday, 1 o'clock. It's Family Day. It's going to be a great atmosphere. Like I said, if you missed this past Thursday's game, you know, I hope you had a good excuse because it was a great atmosphere, and hopefully the Red and Black Nation will come out and support the team once again. Because Family Day, you know, I know school's only started, but it's always nice to see all the families back on campus and at the game because it's a different atmosphere on a Saturday than it is a Thursday.
Sure, and I'm very appreciative. You know, our guys are very appreciative of the support we have Thursday night. You know, they had food trucks up there and a DJ, and the students showed up, which is why we played the Thursday night game. You know, is to try and get the students involved. We had a lot of different groups come. The fraternities and sororities were there, and a lot of the other athletes were there. So it was just a fun night overall. Hopefully we can get you out this Saturday. You know, it's going to be a nice day. The weather's going to be good. The tailgating's going to be good. So come on out and support the Vulcans. We appreciate every time we have folks in the stands. And then shout out to the marching band who did a fabulous job on Thursday night. You know, our biggest fans and just happy that they were with us.
And they sounded great. I heard a little bit of their halftime performance whenever I was walking around to try and clear my head, and they sound very good this year as they've had for a number of years. So come on out. There's a lot of things to do. I know we have the graphic on about the media information. You can listen to the game on our WCAL audio stream, 91.9 FM. On the home games, we have to turn the transmitter off, so that's going to be online only. And hopefully we'll have our live video sorted out on CUTV Sports 1. The issue was we had a lot of people, a lot of fans at the game, and it's one of those issues we can't really troubleshoot until there's a full stadium. So hopefully we'll get that all sorted out, and our fans across this great nation can keep up with the exciting team that you're putting on the field.
Yeah, excited you guys. You know, we had a lot of calls from folks out of town wondering what was going on, but you know they understand. And one last thing I didn't add: Miss Baker, one of our parents, is trying to get parents together for tailgating. So if we got any parents out there watching and you want to contact the football office, we'll get you in touch with Mrs. Baker. She does a fabulous job. She's at every game and trying to kind of rally the parents together to have some fun tailgating and supporting the Vulcans.
And believe me, if you've ever seen the tailgates in the parking lot, you definitely want to be a part of that. So take up Coach and his offer if you're a parent and get in contact. And Coach, we're about out of time this week. Any final thoughts?
No, just excited to be playing at home again. Hopefully we got a big crowd, get the students out. Family Day is always a great day here. They're going to have a lot of activities and a lot of promotions, and just excited to kind of keep this thing rolling and appreciate you guys and the coverage you give us.
Well, thanks for coming over today, Coach, and we'll see you next Tuesday, hopefully talking about another exciting California victory. For Coach Dunn, I'm Gary Smith. You're watching The Gary Dunn Show right here on CUTV.